Alright then, it's time for Team Battle Shen, and yes, it is a normal game with friends. Which one? And this is a really annoying situation, and I'm sure a lot of you kind of get irritated by it, which you do, when you decide, you know what, I want to play a champion that not a lot of people tend to play, so I'll be unique. I'll be that one Shen that out of 100 games that they actually managed to see. Then the enemy team picks Shen, and you end up being in a mirror match of some sort. You're like, damn. So, yeah. Either way, attack speed, red attack speed, quints, armor yellow magic versus blues, 921 masteries. Now, I start off with Grump, head to wolves, because blue is completely useless for Shen. It would probably just take more time and kind of beat my ass. And then I go for red and have a merry time. I hope you notice one thing, too. I said that my sustain is beautiful. Shen's sustain is still majestic. And after that, just go off to gank Lissandra. Catch her with E before she gets to travel with her little thingy. I thought Katarina was going to flash for the kill, but it turns out I have to do it, so I flash and kunai, kai strike, whatever that thing is called, and kill Lissandra myself. So, here's the thing about Jungle Shen. Still slow as balls, but its sustain is insane. In fact, the sustain is so overkill that this Ranger's Trailblazer was pointless. And I learned, that was a dumb mistake, so I'm going to trade it in for the Chilling Smite later. So I go on to gank mid, but the opportunity doesn't exactly present itself, so I head down bottom where they're having like this little skirmish right there. The enemy Callista and Yanni are getting a little too aggressive, and the Blitzcrank just jumps right in. I managed to catch Callista with my E, and promptly she's murdered. Blitzcrank pulls Annie, unfortunately sacrificing himself, but fortunately for us, we kill the child. So yay, we're child killers! So anyhow, Jungle Shen, I already said, sustain is great, slow as balls, and it's an interesting thing, it's that Jungle Shen fares a lot better than a lot of tanks currently. I mean, some tanks are faster than him, but Shen makes it up in artificial speed. Those veteran players or veteran watchers of my stream know what I'm talking about. Once Shen reaches level 6, he gains the ability, or whatever we call the infinite jungling, in which he can just non-stop farming as long as he has his ultimate, because he can join any fight regardless of where he is. Like, even though this is going to turn out actually a really bad situation, we can see that Kha'Zix wants to gank the Katarina, right? So I'm just keeping an eye on it. We even ping it. And as soon as the Kha'Zix goes in with the Lissandra, I teleport onto the Katarina. Unfortunately for us, so does the enemy Shen, and the Lissandra takes more effort to kill. I knew I was probably going to die, so I went in for the kill on Lissandra anyway. So a 2-for-1 plus my ultimate is really bad. A Shen without an ultimate is a lot weaker. Nonetheless, though, Jungle Shen still possesses another great thing. I already mentioned a few times, his hyper sustain. While a lot of junglers, especially tanks, would have to go back after just clearing 3 camps early on, Jungle Shen can keep going. So if I had wanted to, I could have cleared the entire camp probably even twice, and then gone home. And, I mean, it's still smarter to just go back early and get the second upgrade to the machete, but still, it's a point for Jungle Shen, right? Especially considering a lot of tanks just having problems. Still, though, this does not speak to the viability of Jungle Shen. In all honesty, I think Jungle Shen is a very strong jungler and has always been one, but especially after being tweaked down with his nerfs, always been very meta dependent. He's more akin to slower paced games, obviously, because he's very weak without his ultimate, and weak in utility, and he doesn't have the best initiation, so it's sort of like better when he actually has items to be able to survive a lot of the stuff he has to pull off, the good taunts and stuff, and having proper teammates that can follow it up. Right now, he's not versatile enough or fast enough to keep up with with all the junglers that are right now dominating, or with the meta itself. So unless the meta changes and he won't see any play. I know that could be said about a lot of champions, but in the case of Shen, it's really important because he's very matchup heavy. In the jungle and in the lane, there are some matchups that utterly destroy him, and those champions tend to be the ones that are in the game. And Jungle Shen's abilities are so unique, or well, at least his ultimate and key strike his W is unique, that he won't ever really be bad. He'll just be out of favor. Though I do think he needs at least a buff in terms of his energy, because honestly, all the other energy users are kind of like just pissing out yellow streams of power right now. I don't know. That was a terrible, terrible thing I just tried to say. Nonetheless, I still also wouldn't recommend him for ranked play. I mean, unless if you know like your matchups, that means you're kind of later into the game. I mean, later into the champion select, then of course you can probably pick him if you see your enemy is someone like Nautilus and the laners are champions like Riven and something, so you won't really need to be involved really early into the game. But picking him early, even if you're going to top lane as Shen, tends to be a disaster if you don't know who you're fighting against. Because if you're top lane Shen and you fight someone like Riven, you're just going to get pummeled. If you're jungle Shen and you fight someone like Lee Sin, you're going to have a really bad time. So it's if in ranked play, at the very most, pick them later into the game, not just willy-nilly, because you're just going to ask for pain and suffering. Nonetheless, here you go. Here's a neat fight. I just love this. It's just the speed of Shen to when he does things is great. I love his taunt. Flash forward, grab her as soon as Rumble threw on its ultimate, and boom, she's obliterated. Then we give chase to Shen, but we can't exactly kill him, so we just settle for the tower. Jungle Shen has always been one of my favorite champions, though I really do feel he sort of needs at least an update. Like I mentioned, his energy and perhaps the cooldown of his ultimate. I mean, all the other ultimates also do have longer cooldowns, but they kind of make a bigger impact now considering this. Yeah, Jungle Shen can teleport in, but now all he does is kind of give a person a shield. His taunt aspect is not really the most important. I mean, the taunt following it up isn't exactly the most potent anymore because the opponent can just disengage rather easily. Everybody's got their disengages now, so I think after he uses ultimate, he could probably use some movement speed, at least a tiny burst. Like, hey, I'm jumping out the gate, boom. But either way, that's just kind of dreaming in a tunnel. We'll see what happens if the meta shifts and it becomes viable if you really need some help. Aside from energy, of course. Nonetheless, my team, you can see, is doing fine. It's a group of friends. We don't really care too much. We're just kind of dicking around and doing our own things. And I hope you already noticed, too, I was able to achieve the Infinite Jungle dream several times. I ult in for the Jinx to help her out because the enemy team was looking to engage on her. And since the enemy Shen is close enough, I smite him and easily kill him. So the Jinx right now, you can see, is massively powerful. Huge and brawny and whatever. Kha'Zix jumps in, doesn't manage to kill her. I force her off. I don't even know how I missed that taunt. It's just a failure. I smite secure the Kha'Zix too. Lissandra gets denied and obliterated. Kalista just gets destroyed by Jinx. And I love doing this as any tank or any form of initiator. The Annie gets a little too close, and I just taunt her, and then she gets obliterated. So once again, we're child killers. Again, I would not recommend Shen in ranked. With friends, it doesn't matter what you ultimately pick. I'm sure of that. But I could only suggest him if you pick him later into the champion select. And even then, there might be some better choices. He is a hell of a lot of fun, and a lot of clutch plays can be made as him. And he kind of is a good jungler to train yourself on, especially about pace and maintaining your cooldowns and reading situations appropriately. So in that aspect, he can be, a good champion to use. But until then, let's just hope either Riot updates him or the meta shifts a little bit to give Shen the spotlight again. In the lane or in the jungle, I just missed one of my favorite ninja. Also, I hope you guys noticed that Riot seemingly removed the Flippin Ninja buff. That's kind of sad, and so no hooray on that.